Let us be among the last to tell you Happy New Year as we join you on this Thursday to get you ready for the weekend of high school basketball as we'll resume our coverage on TV 46 Friday night. Of course, the games have been going on, but let's give you some of the matchups on Friday night. We'll start in the NIC. Battle for Princess City supremacy between Marion and Mishawaka over at the Cave. Marion Tuesday night, Bob, had a nice win over Goshen, albeit low scoring, 33-30, and I imagine, once again, Rob Berger wants his guards to play well.
Well, his guards have to play well, and again, they've got a little bit of size inside, but not the experience that they had last year. And Kaleo Kakalia is capable of scoring in double figures every game, but he needs somebody to get him energized, and the guards can do that. Jerry Bracey's been outstanding, and I think this is a game that's going to test Marion's talent level against Mishawaka's depth. Mishawaka all of a sudden has developed about 8 deep, and they have guys who can get after you defensively. And I like the way Ron Heklinski's team is playing better defensively, which has given them some confidence on offense.
Cavemen had their own win streak snapped by Elkhart Central on Tuesday night, but you know they'll have a big crowd in the Cave and want to protect that one.
Right.
What about Jimtown going to St. Joe? Normally this wouldn't seem to be a game we would talk about, but here's Jimtown, a team that won a Holiday Tourney Championship this year, lost to John Glenn on Tuesday night, and they may be the one team with the kind of size that could give St. Joe a little bit of trouble.
We saw them early this year against Northwood, and we were kind of asking ourselves why they weren't going inside a little bit more with the size that they have. This is a team that has come up with some big wins. You said they won the Holiday Tournament, and they're playing with some confidence. And I think St. Joe might be up for a good matchup, but I love St. Joe's depth. They got 4 or 5 guys who can score. And that's a really good basketball team under Mark Johnson.
Of course, when you talk about St. Joe, you talk about the play of J.R. Konechny, their 6'7" forward who's headed to the University of Notre Dame. There he is right there. But as Bob mentioned, plenty of other weapons as well. And Mark Johnson's team was one of only 4 that have just one loss in the area, that loss coming to Goshen. Goshen was able to slow the pace down against St. Joe. We'll see if Jimtown tries that same strategy against the Indians on Friday night. Let's look at some more high school basketball coming up here. As we take a look at our next matchup here, go ahead and roll the tape, Dean, because it's Adams and Penn. And Adams coming off the win over Clay on Tuesday night, 66-60. They've had very good balance. They had it again Tuesday night, but I think that young man, Braden Saxton's a bit of a difference maker for this Eagles team.
He is, and they've got a couple other younger guys who can come in and help them in a given situation. I think Adams might be the class of the city of South Bend, and they played very well in the game that we did a couple weeks ago against Marion, and they've got some depth. You got to be out on the perimeter, and you also have to try to deny the penetration. They penetrate inside really well. That's what Penn's going to be tested with, trying to avoid foul trouble when they go in toward the basket.
First of all, Ryan Varga from Washington calling for you online too. Secondly, Penn is a team that likes to get it up and down the floor. They struggled at the start of the year. They have kind of found their groove a little bit. Derek Durda, Carter Hickey, a couple of veteran players on what has been a very young team. I wouldn't be surprised if they push the tempo a little bit against Adams and take their chances a little bit. That's the kind of ball that Al Rhodes' team has been playing this year.
And one of the things that Al has done over the years is he's tried to adapt himself to the talent that he has. Last year they had a big man inside. They tried to go in the half-court offense and be very patient. I would love to see Penn get up and down the floor a little bit more, and I think that gives them the best opportunity because they do have some good shooters, but getting up and down the floor, I think gives them an opportunity to get some transition baskets.
The NLC gets this look a lot from me because I can't figure out what's going on in this league right now. And let's take Northwood and Wawasee to start with. Okay, so Northwood was rolling 8-2. They lose to New Prairie at home on Tuesday night. And once again, it's a night where they just can't seem to find enough offense going. They'll have to figure it out when they go to the Hardwood TP in Syracuse.
Yeah, you know, he's going to give them a benefit of the doubt early on because they did have a couple of football players that are transitioning back to basketball. And that usually takes maybe a couple of weeks, but they've got some guys on this team that just need to step up. They don't need permission to score. They don't need for the coach to call them over and say, hey, it's okay with me if you shoot and score. They got to do it. I mean, this is a team that has enough talent to compete, and as I said, they got off to a great start. A little bit of a surprise that they came up short last night.
And then you've got the saga of Wawasee, John Everingham, fired in the spring, rehired in the summer. and all his team has done is go 7-3 and kind of wake up everybody down in Kosciuszko County. Another couple of teams that'll have you just going, what? Plymouth at Elkhart Memorial. Okay, so Plymouth goes to Michigan City. Really good team. Has only one loss on the season, and they hang with the Wolves for 3 quarters last on Tuesday night before succumbing by a count of 60-50. We've seen Ryan Bale's team look really good and really bad this year.
Yeah, it's been a strange situation down there at Plymouth, and again, they have to come all the way up to Elkhart to take on a Memorial team that we know is going to get better as the season goes along. It's what they've done every year. They're incorporating a couple of new bodies into an otherwise team that gets up and down the floor. As you mentioned, they've got a couple of guys who are stepping up, and this is going to be one of those teams, tournament time is going to be really good.
When I look at Memorial, the one thing that really stands out to me is their quickness. Darjon Lewis and Skinny Rogers in the backcourt. That could present Plymouth with some problems. I would imagine that they would try to press Plymouth a little bit and try to create a little bit of tempo. Neither one of these teams has much of an inside game if one of them can find it. And we saw Plymouth do that against Northwood. If one of them can find the inside game, that might be the key to this ball game.
Yeah, I think Plymouth was relying on Reichert so much going into the season that it's been a little bit slower in developing the other talent. But Ryan Bales has a good group of guys, but they've gone here and they've gone here. You got to find out, as you said, it's a puzzle in that Northern Lakes Conference.
By the way, the winner of the Plymouth Memorial game will be tied for first place in the Northern Lakes Conference with the winner of the game that we have Friday night on TV 46, Warsaw and Northridge. Warsaw comes into this game with a record of 8-2. They lost by 8 to Culver Academy on Tuesday night. Both of these teams shoot the three very, very well.
And I think Northridge, one of the things about their situation is they love to shoot the three. They don't mind shooting 30, 35 three-pointers in the course of a game, and they've got the big guy Stauffer inside. A lot of times a missed jump shot by Northridge winds up being an entry pass to Stauffer, so it's not a bad way to go. The Stoltzfus boys are good players. This is a nice program, and they're in their second year. So a lot of the questions that they had last year at times during the season, they don't have anymore. They're into the situation. They played together most of the summer, and I think they're ready to go.
If there's one thing I can tell you will be a key in this game, it'll be rebounding. Warsaw has dominated teams on the glass this year, and in the games where Northridge has been beaten, they've given up a ton of second chance points. They just can't afford to do that. Playing at home on Friday night in Middlebury. We'll be there, and we'll bring it to you live on YouTube and Facebook at 7:45, and of course on TV 46 Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Now for my partner Bob Nagel, it's Chuck Freeby. Thanks for joining us on social media. We'll see you tomorrow night.